Hi, everyone.
Wow. That was awesome.
Love it. That video just gets everyone, I hope, so pumped and excited for our launch today.
I'm excited. I thought I was excited before, and then that video came on, and I'm the most excited I've ever been.
I love the GIFs in the chat. Keep them coming, guys. We are so excited to be launching our recording studio today. We are going to be giving you a quick demo. We're going to be talking a little bit about the feature. We are also going to be bringing up our amazing beta customer, Dasha, from Imbursed. She's going to share her real life experience with you, talking about how her team is using Recording Studio for a variety of use cases. So we're going to give folks a few minutes to come in and get settled. But while we do that, a few reminders. This session is being recorded, so you will have access to the on-demand. So don't worry. Please use the Q&A tab. Drop us some questions. If you have questions for myself or Ernest, if you have questions for Dasha, please go ahead and drop them there. And if you are interested in Recording Studio, and you want to learn more, go ahead and click that button, that purple Get Recording Studio Access button at any time during the event today. So we're so glad you joined us today at Mindshare. And I think we're going to kick it off with a poll today.
Yeah, we sure are. Speaking of questions, how many of you love being in front of the camera? Let's see live what we're going to see. Courtney, do you have any predictions on the audience here?
I feel like most people would be in the gives me butterflies range. I don't know.
All right, let's see.
No.
Looks like we got a couple people that would want to puke. We've got hating it. We've got
hating it. Oh, no, butterflies are taking the lead.
Born a star. All right. You know what? We're going to have to find out who these 7 are and invite them to one of our future events here to be on stage.
I want to see these stars. Get in the chat. Tell us who you are.
Awesome. Love it. Well, feel free to continue filling out that poll if you haven't. We are so excited to be with you today. I'm going to go ahead and kick things off for us. Let me share the slides here. All right, awesome. So we're going to start with the vision. So at Goldcast, we believe mindshare drives pipeline. You've heard mindshare over and over again during this event. You'll continue to hear it. We believe that the best way to capture mindshare is through video, specifically authentic human-led video. That's why we've invested in building an end-to-end video content platform that lets you create, amplify, measure, and ultimately drive mindshare. I love this phrase because you think about market share, and it is a great way to relate to that. What is it that I'm thinking about at the time that I'm ready to purchase? Today's no different. Today we're excited to launch our recording studio, which complements our events product. While live events are engaging, they come with challenges like scheduling guest speakers or leadership, as well as the unpredictability that comes with any live events. Courtney and I are taking that risk right now. Many customers turn to recorded content, but they often have to juggle multiple tools, and the quality just doesn't compare. But with Recording Studio, we are eliminating those challenges. you'll be able to record high quality audio and video with local recordings to ensure that you have the best possible quality, no worries about internet issues. You can also edit and manage your content all within Goldcast without jumping between tools or relying on external editors. Everything stays in one place. It makes the entire process really seamless. So I'm going to invite Courtney to kick us off with a quick demo to show you how it works. After the demo, stick around because we'll hear from one of our incredible customers, Dasha, who participated in the beta and has some great insights to share. So Courtney, take it away.
All right, here we go. We are so excited to show you all Recording Studio today. Anyone who does have access to Goldcast, go ahead and hop into your account today, because everyone will be able to see this new recording option. If you haven't yet unlocked the option to get into the Recording Studio, you will see a pop-up with some more information and details about the feature. So go ahead and check that out. Reach out to our team to unlock it for your company. If you do have access to Recording Studio, you have two options. You can either open up a record now. That is going to give you immediate access to jump right into a recording, get ready. If you need to record a quick product demo, if you need to record something to share it internally with your team, if you have your CEO drop by and you want to just capture a little thought, leadership quote, you can go ahead and hit record now, and that'll open up the Recording Studio for you to jump in immediately. You also have the option to record later, which gives you the opportunity to schedule your session for whenever you will be able to have those guest speakers join you. And they will get a magic link and a calendar hold the same way that they do with regular Goldcast events. So there's really nothing for you to manage. You don't have to send them anything, remind them about anything. They will automatically have it on their calendar with their magic link. Once they click their magic link, everybody's just going to hop right into that Recording Studio area. So we have a little bit of Goldcastception, as we like to say. So you can see me here. Okay. There we go. So I'm on my other camera. So I have my Recording Studio session open over here. I've got Ernest, my guest speaker, joining me here in the backstage. If you have run events on Goldcast, this should be a very familiar setup for you. Your backstage area is where you can prep with your speakers, get everybody set up and ready to go. You also have the option to set up your layout, so you can choose how you want your speakers and content to be displayed. Actually, we can hop on stage so we can show you what that looks like. And you can also control your background. So you can see right now we have it set to a color. You can go ahead and change it out to an image if you have like a graphic that you want to use. I use these Goldcast colors often. You can control your name card, your colors of your name card. You can also completely remove your name cards and add them in post as well. Once you've made your decision for your layout and your style, so for example, we can go into focus mode, which will bring me as the active speaker center, move Ernest to the side. Grid is going to keep us even. And you also have fit and fill options. So you've got a 16:9 here. This is a little bit more standard for like podcast settings. Once you have all of these kind of set up and ready to go, you're ready to hit record. You can come down here and hit the record button. And two important things to note about this. First, you want to make sure all of your layouts and styles are set up prior to hitting record. You're going to get this little reminder. And once you start recording, we're going to prompt to make sure that you know that everyone is ready. Your recording is now in progress. So we are being captured right now. And as Ernest just mentioned, this recording is being captured locally to both of our computers. So our internet connections and any dips that we have in our connection will not be reflected in the final version. And our the files will be uploaded straight to Goldcast, and that will enable you to have very high quality recordings and videos of your speakers without worrying about their connection speed. So you also have the opportunity to pause your recording at any time. If we mess up, we want to have a take go again, we can go ahead and hit pause. We can bring it back. And when we are ready, we can go ahead and stop the recording. So our recording is paused now. We can go ahead and stop it, and that is going to trigger that recording to process and send back into Goldcast, so you can see here that my upload is complete. If for some reason my file needed a little bit more time to load, you would see that progress bar as well. And you're going to get an email when your recording is ready to be processed. And I am going to kick it over to Ernest so he can talk a little bit more about what you can do with your recordings after they've been captured.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. Let me take over the screen here. So in preparation for this, Courtney and I, we actually recorded a video yesterday. It does take a few minutes for the videos to process. So for the sake of time, that's why we did that. You can head over to your recordings area, which is where all your recordings will show up. And funny enough, as a result of kicking off Recording Studio and testing it out, Courtney and I started a podcast. And the podcast is space related. And I'll share more about that here in a moment. But here is the recording, and you can see that we've got individual streams for.
Oh, did we lose Ernest? I think Ernest just dropped off. So let me hop in and just show you all what the recording looks like. Okay, I'm just going to take over screen share. There we go. Okay, so this is what your recordings will look like after they have processed and are completed. This is an example that we captured yesterday. Our new podcast exploring space themed. I think it's actually called Exploring the Infinite. And you can see that we've got the full recording. It's ready to download. We also have each speaker's separate stream. So if you did want to download Ernest's video and my video, you have access to those streams as well. This is going to give you the full recording with both of us and all of our audio and any screen share that we have created. And once you're ready, you can go ahead and hop into edit video. Before I hop in there, I just want to show you guys one of the greatest things about working in Goldcast that you guys have already heard is that we allow you to centralize the end-to-end experience of the recording. So you captured the recording in Goldcast, you can edit in Goldcast, and you can also distribute it here too. So you can take this recording and let's say you did a pre-recorded event, you can go ahead and push this recording directly back into a Goldcast scheduled event, whether it's live or pre-recorded, and share that video there. You can also create pages. So this is a page that Ernest and I created for our podcast, Exploring the Infinite with Ernest and Courtney. And you can see that this video that we recorded yesterday, we've included on this page. And we can go ahead and make edits in Goldcast, publish them, and those edits will be pushed directly to this page without us having to take any additional action. So just to give you a little look into that player. Welcome, Stargazers. So we have our transcript info. And just a note, I do have that error on my screen, but that's because I'm using Arc, the browser Arc, which is technically not supported, but short notice jumping in for Ernest. So That is one of the best ways to distribute your video content is on these pages. Not only are these pages standalone, but these video blocks, like this carousel of all of the episodes of our podcast, can also be embedded into our own website. And all of the data and watch numbers and watch time will be tracked here in analytics as well. So to head back over to the editing experience, once your video is processed and it's ready to go, you can go ahead and click this edit video button. That's going to bring you directly into Goldcast Content Lab. So if you are familiar with Content Lab, there are multiple incredible benefits of it. One of them is that you can complete edits directly in Goldcast for your video using the transcript. You can clip out the beginning and the end. You can add in an intro and an outro if you have videos for that. You can control the layout, which speakers display when, whether to show speaker labels or not, and add in captions and control the background as well. So a ton of various controls. You can kind of like clip out sections as well. Everything you know and love about Content Lab is here, and it is super powered. In addition to being able to edit the full video and publish it to either events or pages or download it and take it out to social, you also have the benefit of Content Lab generating all of the clips, social posts, blogs, emails, all of the takeaways, everything that Content Lab generates for you from, originally. Played the video. You're back.
I'm not sure what happened. What was the last thing that you guys heard?
I don't think you said anything, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I did the whole demo with no audience.
I guess.
I can't believe that. Okay. Sorry, folks. I think I know what happened.
You're totally fine.
I had a login for our demo account, and I had a login for the event account, I think. And as a result, I just ended up getting kicked out of the Mindshare event because I was logged into the demo account.
Oh no. Okay.
Sorry about that. I'm happy to take over if you'd like, or if you're on a roll, then
I think we're pretty much at the end. I was just describing how not only can everyone accomplish all of their edits for the full-length video, but they also get the benefit of everything that Content Lab provides, like generating clips, social posts, blog posts, everything to create that, full repurposing motion of the content.
Awesome. Nailed it.
Amazing. So I think that's everything that we wanted to demo for you guys. I think maybe we could just take a quick pause and answer like one or two questions, and then we'd love to have our guest speaker, Dasha, the manager of field marketing at Imbursed, come up and talk a little bit about how she has been using Recording Studio. Just gonna grab a couple of questions. Yeah, this is a great one that I'd love to share. There are a lot of questions around what's next for Recording Studio. Can we add music? What else are we going to be adding into the product? Yeah, so Ernest, do you want to walk us through this slide?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, looking at the questions, most of the questions are around things that we can do or will be able to do. So we've got loads of enhancements that are on deck for Recording Studio. What you saw end-to-end is available today, but we've got things like dynamic scene changes, so you can decide when to show one video over another. Editable speaker labels, so if you miss something and want to capture that in post and make the modifications, you can do that. As well as things like virtual backgrounds that you can assign so that your guests can use it, as well as a whole slew of other editing options, including adding music, splitting video, including B-roll, image overlays, modifying audio track. Thanks to folks that were part of our beta, like Dasha, we were able to get such great feedback that informed this roadmap. And you guys are going to see these enhancements come week over week and month over month. It'll continue to get better.
Yep, we're super excited. And just to talk a little bit about, there were some questions around which teams might get the best use out of the recording studio. And I think the answer to that question is that it's so broad. There are so many different use cases that you can use to amplify your brand, to supercharge what your teams are already doing, and to centralize your work and really slim down the pieces of software that you need to accomplish your workflows. So some of the use cases that we have talked about and that we're going to share and that you're going to hear from Dasha include pre-recorded events that you run in Goldcast, the video podcast like Ernest and I hosted. If you're doing customer interviews or thought leadership from within your company or external, capturing that content and sharing it out on your website, on your social is a great one. Product demos, trainings, sales outreach. If you have BDRs or sales managers doing short demos of your products and sending them out. There are so many different use cases and avenues that you can use to amplify your brand and do what you're already doing. So I would love to invite Dasha to hop up on stage with us. Dasha is the manager of field marketing at Imbursed, and she has been using Recording Studio for so many of these use cases that we're already talking about. So I'm really excited to have you all hear from her, what her team is doing.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I lead, as Courtney mentioned, the North American field marketing team at Imbursed. We are a travel and expense management software. We've been using Goldcast for about a year and a half, and expanding our video strategy has always been a goal. So when we got a chance to test out the recording studio, we were so excited. So I can't wait to tell you what we've learned, and hopefully I will not be sucked off to space like Ernest.
Hopefully not. Great. So Dasha, I'd love to hear from you. Before you were using Recording Studio, what did your video creation process look like, and what were some of your major challenges?
For sure, it was very dispersed. We had only one person on the team with advanced video editing skills. It's our social media manager. She handled most of the video editing using Adobe products, but outside of that, everyone had pretty little experience. So editing was a big pain point because it was either too manual, too complex for most of the team. And another, I think what the biggest challenge is that everyone was trying to do some sort of video in silos. And I think we've heard a lot already throughout, the last session that the silos is really what's, preventing this like multi-usage of content. And when everyone is doing video on their own, nobody else has access to it. So you have lack of visibility and lack of opportunity to create multi-purpose videos that everyone has access to.
It's amazing. What are some of the ways that you're seeing Recording Studio help you with some of these challenges?
So the biggest appeal when we started was the simplicity, and you just did, quick demo, and I'm sure everybody saw how easy it was to just jump in and, start recording. And that's the goal was for us, when we started testing it, we wanted to streamline it so that we no longer have to be setting up multiple test events just to do simple recordings. The idea of just jumping in, hit record and be done, and made the setup super attractive. So we're so excited to try different formats, like podcasts, without having to set up again, like the test events. It was finally ability for us to make it easy and accessible for everyone on the team, not just the one video editor. We've used to do a lot of test events for like podcasts, for little mini demos. So a lot of those, use cases that you already mentioned. And what we've noticed is if you set it up as, a test event, then it's still all the traditional setup, and the speakers might get confused and they accidentally might click somewhere where they're not supposed to, in traditional event environment. So by really streamlining it, make it easy, you don't need somebody else to sit there and make sure they don't do something they're not supposed to. They go in, they click record, and then we go in and edit and reuse it for whatever we want.
That's great. I'd love to hear more. I'd love for you to share with the audience about some of the different use cases you're using Recording Studio for.
Absolutely. And this is for sure the exciting part. I will say that the fun fact, I actually used the Recording Studio to prepare for this. I went in and recorded myself talk for about 15 minutes and then ran some custom prompts in the content lab to come up with talking points. So bam, use case number one. I think in the first session, we've heard so much, doing more with less, and Recording Studio became the definition of doing more with less for us at Imbursed. The first thing we did is we were able to launch our podcast, Beyond Spend. The simplicity I just talked about allowed the speakers to be very self-sufficient, hop in, record, and then we can go in and publish it. And the beauty is it's all in the content lab, right? So we can repurpose the content. We can send it to social, we can send it to blog, we can really, again, building from the last session, do that waterfall of content. The second one we did was I use it for customer testimonials, especially we have this kind of community building program called Imbursed Champions. And, we invited customers, recorded something, that they wanted to share, and then use it to build the program and share it throughout, various channels. Question did come up like, why don't we just use Zoom? Could we? Sure. But then you still have to wait for it to upload, then export, then re-import. And then if you still want to use the content lab. But the key is the fact that everybody across our global marketing team can see it immediately after the recording is done. It's accessible, it's trackable, it takes collaboration and content repurposing to the new level. And one more example right here is our implementation team loves using Recording Studio to do quick training sessions, quick demos. From organizational perspective, I personally love it because they have all their trainings tagged and stored on the recording, so they're not, diluting our actual event list. And the last one, this is the one that I think I'm particularly proud of. We've been using Recording Studio to create content for upcoming events. I'm sure that you can ask any field marketing manager or specialist out there, and they can tell you that they can come up with a topic and build a landing page for a webinar in under 30 minutes. It's getting speakers and subject matter experts to commit and produce content is what takes the longest. So let's say you have a best practice webinar coming. What we do, we just invite them for a no pressure conversation in the Recording Studio and just have a 45-minute discussion about what is it that they do, how they solve challenges for customers on a daily basis, because that's really what they shine in. Then we run a bunch of custom prompts and content led, and before you even realize it, we've built an entire foundation for the webinar. It's subtle but really powerful way to build content collaboratively and organically. And then it's all right there in the content lab. You can use it to promote your webinar on social, we've ran scripts to write email copy. Basically, we use it to promote. We use that 45 minutes to not only create the entire talk track for the webinar, but to use it for promotions on all of our channels.
That's so great to hear. Is there any standout feature or specific moment that you feel like really made you go, okay, this is going to be great?
I think once we realized that all of it does feed directly into Content Lab automatically, that was the big wow. Because again, like people asking me like, why can't we just have a Zoom call and record it? Like, because it's still like we're going to waste so much time, upload, export, waiting for it to load. The fact that like it's all there, and like I said, we have team members in EMEA and APAC, so they can access it. They don't have to wait. They can just go in when they start their day, and the recording is already there. They can repurpose it for whatever content they need. They can localize it. They can translate it and take and run with it without waiting waiting for us to upload something else.
That's so great. So it sounds like it's really centralizing your work, giving visibility to a lot of different teams, even across time zones, locations. Are there any other use cases that your team or other teams are thinking about, or content formats that you hadn't considered before?
Yes, for sure. And I think we also started talking about it when Ernest dropped off, that, a lot of that's probably like I run webinars all the time. And, as a moderator, that's probably one of your biggest fears. Like, what if your speaker drops off? I've had situations when speakers messed up time zones and couldn't join because they were driving at the time. So, having the ability to pre-record more content to use for future events is something we're going to be exploring. And I think we've had a lot of requests to make our video content more scalable across our global markets. So, I talked about like managing the time zones is tough, right? But being able to pre-record more and find creative ways to to customize it and localize that content is going to be huge. So hopefully we get to test a lot of it, and maybe on the next Mindshare, I can share how we scaled all of our pre-recorded content on, for all of our global markets.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, actually, one of our questions, I'll just pop up, is how are you planning to repurpose the recording? So you talked about pre-recorded content, having it for your webinars globally. How does your team typically repurpose that webinar content after the event is over and continue to get that ROI?
I will say every single time somebody new at the organization sees Goldcast, they go, what is this? We have this. Can I have access? Can I use this content? So we've actually been adding some of the content licenses to our account, and, opened a whole door of opportunities for sharing. Our content manager now goes in and takes what he needs for blog posts, for, powering. I'll tell you one example we actually just did. We had a customer conference in London, and it was a very specific topic of, the use of AI in travel and expense. And, they came to us and said, hey, do we have any content that we can repurpose? And we used the new AI feature and basically said, find every time any of our speakers in the last year talked about AI and travel, and give me the script for the keynote. And we created the entire keynote for our CEO just from using all the webinar content from the previous year.
That's amazing. So you created an entire keynote?
Yep.
That's actually very impressive. Amazing. If anyone has any questions for Dasha, while we have her on stage, go ahead and drop them in the Q&A. Or questions for Ernest and myself as well. Just let us know. You can drop them into the chat, put them into Q&A.
Courtney, I was thinking about the use cases that we were talking about, and one of the use cases that we talked about was hosting a podcast. And I know that more and more companies that we're talking to have started to ramp up and started to host podcasts. And you and I hosted a couple podcast episodes ourselves just through this test. And I found a really interesting statistic that I think would be interesting to share with the group. And that is 90% of podcasts don't make it past episode 3. So this might be your sign to start your podcast at your company, and know that with Recording Studio, you can accomplish that. But not only can you accomplish that in a seamless way, but if you make it past a few weeks, you're in the top 10% of all podcasts that are produced in the world.
So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is.
And Dasha, you're just kicking off your podcast, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I was going to say my slide actually said episode 3, and since then we recorded episode 4. So I guess we're moving up in those statistics.
Look at that.
That's you.
We're just one episode away, one more space episode away, and we will also join the likes of Dasha and be in the top 10%.
Yes, we need some good themes. If you have good episode subjects, let us know. Um, let's see. Okay, I don't see any other questions specifically for Dasha. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. Your creativity and your team's excitement to jump in and start using Recording Studio is just so exciting for us to see. And you've been such a fantastic partner for us through the beta. And we hope everyone got a lot of inspiration for what they can do and accomplish with Recording Studio from your examples today. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you again for having me. It was fun.
Absolutely. Let's see. I'm going to take a look at some of the other questions in the Q&A. There is one here that I want to make sure we cover. The question is, does video content recorded in Recording Studio count toward your total hours of Content Lab video? It's a great question. Ernest, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, happy to. It does not. So Content Lab hours are predicated on the amount of content that you upload into Content Lab. So if you've got our events platform and we're automatically repurposing your virtual events content, that's not counting towards your allocated hours. Same holds true with Recording Studio recordings. If you record a Recording Studio recording, we will then automatically take that, turn it into clips and social posts, blog posts, etc. So where we're initiating the video processing, that doesn't count towards your allocation. When you're taking outside content and you're putting it in our system for us to process, then that does count towards your allocation. And we're actually in the midst right now of working on an area in the product that shows that, so that you're always aware of how much you've got and how much you've got left and opportunities to add more if you need it.
Amazing. Okay, so rest assured, your Recording Studio recordings do not count towards your total video hours. A question came in from, let's see. A question came in from Gabe in the chat about, does this support local HD native resolution capture and upload? It's a great question, Gabe. So right now, Recording Studio captures up to 1080, up to 1080p, and Goldcast events also are broadcast in up to 1080p. We are currently exploring the opportunity to both capture and broadcast in 4K. So we will have more information for you on that soon. Just a few questions on some of the other features that are coming. Custom virtual backgrounds should come in early May. So we're very excited about that. That's going to be a fast follow to this release. So Ernest and I don't have our backgrounds blurred today, but we could have, our branded Goldcast backgrounds up. Let's see. And a great question about from Tammy, do you offer a vertical video option with one camera on top of another? So as of right now, our layouts are set side by side, but we are really interested in hearing from you all and from our customer base. What are the common layouts that you are generating your content in that you want to see us add in to our experience? So definitely do let us know if you have examples, screenshots, links of the most common layouts that you either see or use or want us to support. Definitely let us know.
Yeah, and one thing to add on that, on the editing side, you will be able to stack video on top of another one, especially when you're creating clips. And we're also adding the ability for you to adjust the scenes too. So at what point do you want Ernest to show versus Courtney to show versus both of us to show versus, and then also we've got aspect ratio and those sorts of things that can happen in post. During the recording portion, because we're capturing the recordings individually, once you've started recording, that's kind of the layout that you're sticking to. But we have all the flexibility in the world when we've got those individual streams to be able to manipulate that in the editing part before you distribute it.
All right, so it looks like we're wrapping up. Just a reminder, Recording Studio is live today. Click that button, get more info, and check out the rest of Mindshare. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.